What's up? What's up? We are live. Let me adjust this setup I got over here. Awesome. Alrighty. Cool. So wait for a couple minutes. We got a special guest on today's live. Super excited. So once our guest logs on, I'll add her in and we'll all go live together. Awesome. Hey, hey, hey. Tara Fit Vegan, are you on? Where are you at? There she is, Tara Fit Vegan. What's up?
Hey, hey, what's up?
Good, good. So just got a special guest today. See you. Oh man, awesome, awesome. So let's give a couple seconds and then we'll get started with this fun live. So if you're watching it on a replay, awesome, and we'll send you the replay. If you requested the replay, I'll send it to you. But if I don't send it to you within like a day, DM me or message me and I'll send it over to you because maybe I might have missed it. We had a lot of people request it. So in case I missed you, DM me and I'll send you or tag you in it. Okay. So we did a poll on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We asked what did we ask? We asked what did you guys want to learn if we did a live training, and we had a lot of people vote on that poll, like a lot.
We asked, would you want to learn how to get 100 grams of protein without protein supplements?
Yep.
Do you want to learn how to lose 10 pounds in 4 weeks as vegan?
Yeah, that's a good one.
And there was a third option. I can't even remember what it is because that one didn't get many votes.
Yeah, I was surprised. I really thought that everyone, like 100% of people, are going to ask for like the
10 pounds.
The 10 pounds in 4 weeks. Because first of all, that's awesome. Who wouldn't want to, right, lose 10 pounds in a month? But especially with the holiday season come around, I thought for sure that would be kind of like the front runner. But no, protein was by far the heavy winner. So I was kind of surprised. So it was so overwhelming that we're like, let's do this live now. So that's why we're doing this live. So if you are watching the replay, thank you for joining us. Super curious. Drop in the comments where you're joining us or where you're watching the replay from. You know, we're in Tulum, Mexico. We've been here for about 1.5 years now, almost 2 years. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, Viva la Mexico. That thing. Yeah, living la vida loca. That's what I was going for. There it is, living la vida loca. Okay, cool. Awesome. So let's jump right into the training today. So if you're joining on the replay, again, just say hi and let us know where we're coming from. And I'm going to send you the replay or tag you in it. If I don't tag you in it, message me and I'll tag you in it because I might miss it, but I don't want to, but let's do it. All right, let's get into it. So the topic, how to get 100 grams of protein without any protein powder. Like that's...
Yes.
I do a lot of talking with a lot of people on Instagram and do a lot of calls actually. And the number one thing is a lot of vegans really want to get protein without supplements. And you, Miss Tara, you are competing this year in how far away is it?
5 weeks.
5 weeks. 5 weeks as a vegan bodybuilder on the stage in 5 weeks. Phenomenal. So for you and most fitness competitors and bodybuilders, 5 weeks to go, I'd say everybody goes hard with protein powders, right? Like your calories are so low, but your protein goals are pretty high. That macro ratio is really high, especially in deficit there. So you by all people would go crazy hard with all these protein scoops, and you're not.
Yeah, we've been able to get most of our protein from food during this journey, which has been a lot of fun. We've been testing a lot of recipes, you and I, a lot of different, just getting creative with food and our food sources. So yeah, if you guys are ready to finally stop choking down those chalky protein shakes multiple times a day
Yeah.
and get more protein from food, then you are in the right place.
Like, there's nothing wrong with protein shakes. Like, first of all, I mean, there's just a lot of vegan shakes. There's a lot of, they're not always delicious. But they're not the worst thing in the world, but you don't need them. People think that you do need them. So this is to prove and show that you don't always need them to get 100 grams. So yeah, talk to us. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So we've worked with dozens of vegans just like you guys. If you're anything like the clients that Ken and I help, then you've been consistently under on your protein goals. You feel like you need those chalky shakes every day. You might struggle to lose fat and build muscle, and you are likely feeling bloated and overly full because you're eating just too many beans. And this goes a lot deeper than just protein. If you don't fix this problem now, you're going to be looked at as the stereotypical skinny fat vegan, who doesn't look healthy, fit, or athletic. And you're not going to be able to inspire those around you to be the example of what's possible through a vegan lifestyle.
It's not about like limiting, right? And that's kind of what you're going for. It's not about limiting your foods. And as vegans, it's really easy to like put ourselves in a box. And like, all right, all we could eat is beans, 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 beans. But being vegan, it opens up the world of possibilities. So yeah, having that, breaking that stereotype of like just sticking with, oh, I have beans for dinner, beans for breakfast. Like, no, you don't need that. So that's a great point.
Yeah. So here's what we don't want for you guys. We don't want you to continue to undereat on protein and feel like you need to supplement your diet just to get the minimum amount of protein in your nutrition daily and feel like you can't live up to that vegan athlete lifestyle and achieve the physical results that Ken and I know that you're capable of. That's why our Vegan Strength Academy protein blueprint is so effective. Let's be real, there's a lot of garbage and BS on the internet. There's a lot of miracle pills and, fitfluencer strategies and things like that. But we've helped over 100 vegans master their nutrition to build muscle and lose fat and maintain those results for years after graduating our program. Because we were just like you, and we used to wonder if we would have to have multiple protein shakes a day and if we would ever get the physical results that we really wanted as bodybuilders and people who like to build muscle and be fit and strong.
I did that. Like, I went hard. Remember, like I was going hard with protein shakes. I'll have like 3 or 4 a day, and like I was so bloated. It was horribly disgusting. And this is like 6 years ago when there wasn't a lot of vegan protein shakes out there. So we were stuck with like pea protein heavy. I'm getting some PTSD like from flashbacks because it was horrible. But like, yeah, I was like, I need my 250 grams of protein. I need 100, all these different things. So it was all shakes, and that was rough. I remember those days.
Yeah, and like if you guys are like me, then your digestive system just can't handle that pea protein. Like, yeah. I get very sensitive to a lot of supplements, and not all supplements are the same, but also relying on those supplements or having those shakes multiple times a day were really messing with my stomach. That's why we had to come up with this blueprint. Now 6-7 years after going vegan, Ken, you've lost 40 pounds of fat.
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready for my first bodybuilding competition as a vegan.
Yeah, buddy.
And in the last 7 years, we've built more strength and muscle than ever before in our lives.
Yeah. It took a lot of trial and error. It took a lot of like finagling, trying to figure things out. We were problem solvers. We were first of all part of the problem, and then we decided to be the solution and figure things out. So we did a lot of experimenting and a lot of research to get our things figured out, because we were definitely choking down the protein shakes, eating so incorrectly, like chickpea. You can only have so much chickpeas and beans and kidney beans. Like it was, and of course all the Beyonds and Impossibles. Like it was just it was overwhelming and it did not, work well with my gut, your gut. Like it was really tough. So this was not just out of necessity for ourselves, but also with our clients. We want to make this as easy as possible for everyone as vegans, so we can break that stupid stereotype of like, very in a box with our food. Like we need to have answers and live it with the correct foods, because we don't need to just have shakes and beans, right?
Exactly. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the Vegan Strength Academy protein blueprint.
Do it.
So, as we've mentioned before, there's nothing wrong with supplements. They can help you achieve your fitness, fat loss, and muscle building goals a lot easier. But supplements are that. They're meant to supplement your diet, not replace macros and food groups.
Yep.
So it's important to get enough protein though, because your calories will ultimately determine how much you weigh. Your macros though will determine how you look, as in looking fit, strong, lean, and toned. And then your micros will determine how you feel. So if you're eating a lot of highly processed foods, you're likely to feel like shit.
Say those are really good points to instill and then repeat that. Could you repeat that again? The calories determine your weight.
Calories determine your weight. Your macros will determine how you look, and your micros will determine how you feel.
That's why it's important to have different foods out there. Like you can't just rely on protein shakes because you're limited on the macros, so you're not going to feel great. That's a great point to bring across. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So first, we want to talk about what is a good protein source and what is not a good protein source. So what's not going to be a primary protein are going to be things like black beans, kidney beans, white beans, chickpeas, edamame, quinoa, nut butter, nuts, seeds, lentils, things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, these are great complementary proteins.
Mm-hmm.
These things are carb and fat sources that have protein in them. They also have a lot of other valuable micronutrients and phytonutrients that we need, and also lots of fiber, which is fantastic. But these are not primary proteins. These are complementary proteins.
We're gonna get a big point that you're bringing up, because it's really easy for vegans to be like, all right, there's protein in it. There's like 10 grams of protein in it. That's a protein source. But if you do the math, it's 10 grams of protein for like 200 grams. But in that 200 grams, you're probably looking at like 50 grams of fat, 70 grams of carbs, what it might be. So like that protein is not where it's at. You have to ingest a lot of grams of beans or whatever it is to bring up your protein, but you're also going to have a lot of those extra macros, and that's going to be a lot of extra calories. So that's a great point. It's all about those macros and that balance. Just because it has the protein doesn't mean it is a protein source.
Right. So now our primary vegan proteins, the things you want to focus on when you're trying to incorporate more protein in your diet is going to be things like tofu, tempeh, seitan, vital wheat gluten, TVP, protein pasta, soy curls, soy cakes, yuba sheets. These are all great primary vegan proteins. These are going to have about 20 grams or more protein per serving. There are higher processed foods, like we mentioned earlier, like, Beyond and Impossible and things like that. But for the purpose of our training today, we want to stick to whole food proteins. Processed proteins can be great and fun to use, but we like to focus a majority of our diet actually from these whole food sources, because the possibilities are endless. And then having those processed proteins as more of like a treat, or like, a break in case of emergency because we don't have a lot of time, or it's the only thing available at the restaurant, things like that. We like to save those for those days.
It's like like a 80-20 percentage, right? Like 80% more on the whole food side, and then 20% on more of the processed side.
Yeah, I would say the last few months, you and I have actually been more on the 90-10, because things have been more extreme with my comp prep.
Yeah.
And we have been more mindful of fat macros and things like that. And with those higher processed foods, you are going to have a higher percentage of fat. And, Beyond and Impossible don't really hit that 2-to-1 protein to fat ratio that we like to look for in our foods. But generally, 80-20 is a perfect balance. we've just been more on the 90-10 in the last few months for sure.
Yeah, and it changes, of course, right? Because we work with vegans that want to build muscle, and by building muscle, a lot of our clients, a lot of our students will lose body fat. So our ultimate goal is, of course, to lose body fat by way of building that muscle, and that's how that body percentage changes a lot. So, of course, 80-20 is a great rule. It's a great rule for vegans that want to be strong, want to build muscle, want to have more of an aesthetic, and care about their physique. Because, of course, you could do a lot different based on your goals, but what the type of people that we serve are more athletic minded. They want to have more of an athlete routine and training protocols. So 80-20 is fantastic, and of course with your comp prep, 90-10, and it's been great. Like I'm not missing anything. I don't feel like we're selling ourselves short on any of those impossible or beyonds. Like we're having it. It's just very, very minimal. But it's been fantastic.
Yeah, we have not been deprived at all in the last few months for sure. And if you guys have seen some of our content, I probably have a lava cake or chicken and waffles like at least every single day. I've managed to keep those in our diet, as well as sourdough bread, which I'm obsessed with. So that hasn't gone anywhere yet. So we've been really creative, and just having that mindset of how can I work this into my diet has really helped with this whole comp prep process. And it's really taught us a lot of how we can finagle and getting even more protein than we thought was possible from our food.
Yeah, that's a good point. That mindset of how can we instead of like we can't. Because if you're thinking about the problem, you're not going to be able to solve it. You have to think of finding the solution and being aware of the problem. So like for you with the comp prep, your calories are going lower and lower and lower, but your protein standard is still moderate. Your protein standard still stays high. So how can we have lower calories but still hit those protein targets to make sure that you lose body fat and maintain, and you're actually building muscle. You're still building muscle in a caloric deficit, which is fantastic.
Yeah. So in talking about how to get this 100 grams of protein from just whole food sources, we like to teach our clients, and with our own nutrition, we break it up into meals, into targets for each meal. Because if you take 100 grams of protein and you divide that across 4 meals, that's just 25 grams in each meal. And that's pretty easy to hit if you're looking at it that way. So now you have to start thinking about what can you pair and consume to hit that 25 grams of protein in each meal. This is where those complementary protein sources really come in clutch, because they bring a lot of micronutrients to the table. And there's so many different options with the different beans, legumes, and things like nuts, even nut butters, that can really help you hit your protein goals while keeping the micronutrients super, super high. One of my favorite hacks is to combine the primary proteins with a complementary protein. So this might look something like a protein pasta, like, Banza if you're in the States, with TVP or even lentil bolognese.
Good stuff.
Yeah, Ken's favorite lately has been a chili made with TVP and a mix of whatever beans that we have available to us. Lately, it's been a lot of black beans, a lot of pinto beans, so it's been really, really delicious. And then also you could do something like a baked ziti, again with that protein pasta, and then pair it with a tofu ricotta cheese. So it's kind of like a baked ziti, cheesy, very comfort sort of food.
Yeah, you really need to make like we got to put that recipe book together, because like the tofu ricotta, guys, is freaking phenomenal. It's ridiculously delicious. Yeah, it's so good. Like you got to put that recipe together and like share it, because that tofu
I think
ricotta.
the tofu cream cheese is better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good too. Yeah,
really
so I didn't even think about it, but like Tara, she makes like cheeses and sauces out of tofu. It's delicious. But that's like what you're saying about combining things together.
Mm-hmm.
So combining and pairing things up together, like the baked ziti with protein pasta and then tofu ricotta. So like protein on protein on protein, but you don't feel like you're just, like having a huge amount of like, I don't know, like Impossible or something like that, right? Like
Exactly.
because you're spreading it across a couple different items on your plate.
Exactly. And the key is don't be afraid to get creative and add protein sources into the meals that you're already making on a regular basis. So, like we were saying, tofu is a pretty magical ingredient that you can make into sweet or savory dishes. We've made tofu protein pudding, tofu cream cheese. Um, I'm experimenting with a cinnamon roll bug cake with a protein cream cheese frosting. Um, don't be afraid to really get creative, and Google's your best friend in this case. You know, TVP is another great secret weapon because anything that you would add in minced meat, you could add TVP instead. So that's everything from like taco meat to sloppy joes to hamburgers. Literally the possibilities are endless. Beef flavor, chicken flavor, whatever you would whatever that meal would be, TVP can replace.
And we're actually going to even experiment even farther with TVP because TVP is pretty easily available and it's so cheap. You get it by like you can buy so much. So we're gonna like try doing like the TVP and like make it into crumbles as like a breadcrumb.
Breadcrumbs, yeah.
Yeah. So that boom, like you take some like what tofu possibly or even like a vegetable of some sort. But imagine take slices of tofu or slices of seitan and then coating it with that breadcrumb of TVP and then air frying that bad boy. Ooh.
Yeah. And then also I had another idea, maybe trying a granola with TVP.
I've seen that. I'm on the fence on it. I think I have to just try it.
Yeah.
It was on TikTok and like it was super viral, and I was like, that looks so weird. But let's just give it a shot.
Yeah. Well, that's because we've only used it in savory items, you know?
Yeah,
We
that's
haven't
true.
used it in something sweet yet. Um, it's like tofu. I think the first time I made tofu pudding, you're like, I don't
Yeah,
know about this.
it's fucking delicious. I just cussed. Are you allowed to cuss on Instagram Live? I don't know. My
I
bad.
think video's okay.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So protein stacking, huge. So just to recap really quickly, 100 grams of protein divided by 4 different meals. That's 25 grams per meal. Super easy. That right there makes it seem super doable for anybody really. And then protein stacking. So you're combining protein sources into your dish, like protein pasta with TVP, or like a lentil bolognese you're talking about, that baked ziti with the protein pasta, and that tofu ricotta, my fave, and then that chili with TVP. So these are some really good options. I mean, right there, off the top of my head, that's like 30. That's like probably 100. Yeah, that's a lot of protein right then and there. So yeah, okay, I'll just do a little recap. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. So what would this look like in an actual day if I was doing meal planning? That's what I want to talk about next.
Nice.
So we want 25 grams per meal. I just gave you guys 3 ideas, but we're gonna take it a step further, and I'm gonna do a whole meal plan without those recipes we just talked about. These are gonna be completely new ones.
Okay, so
So if I wanted,
everyone zero in again. So if you've been watching this live or watching the replay, what's up, everyone that's watching it live? There's been a lot of people in and out. Drop down where you're watching from because that'd be really cool to know. We're in Tulum. But yeah, so a little recap is breaking it down into doable whole food protein to get 100 grams per day. And now you're gonna share with us some magic right here. So if you've been tuning out, tune back in because this is the goods right here.
yes. So let's start with breakfast. For breakfast, we would have a tempeh bacon with a garbanzo flour omelet. Then next, a snack, protein bagel that's made with vital wheat gluten and that tofu cream cheese I just mentioned.
With jalapenos on it. Ooh.
Yeah, the bagels are unreal. Lunch, one of Ken's favorite is orange chicken soy curls with steamed rice and edamame.
Mm-hmm.
And then dinner, we actually just ate this right before the live. Seitan garlic parmesan wings with vegan macaroni and cheese made with bonza pasta.
Boom.
So I promised you guys how to hit 100 grams of protein from whole food sources. And I kind of led you
Misled.
astray a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it's those 4 meals actually don't add up to 100 grams of protein. Those 4 meals add up to over 125 grams of protein.
Boom. That's with 4 meals. That's 3 meals and a snack. No protein shakes.
No protein.
No protein powders. That's 3 meals and a snack, and it's 125 grams of protein right there. Boom.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And that's really how you have to think about it. If you break it up into those chunks, into those 4 meals or even 5 meals, it gets way easier to hit those goals without going over in calories because you're using whole foods. You're using things that are micronutrient dense, and you're hitting your protein target with clean, minimally processed foods. That's the dream. So many vegans that we talk to think that it's impossible to hit their protein goals because they don't want to have protein powder, and they also don't want to have products like Beyond It Impossible that are ultra processed. But that doesn't have to be your barrier. It just is about the way that you go about solving the problem and how you creatively can combine your protein sources to have the meals that you already would eat with just some substitutions. So it makes it super easy and seamless. And there was times because I've been vegetarian for 16 years, and Ken used to be an omnivore, and I used to trick him all the time. I would make tacos that were vegan, and he never knew the difference. So if you're in a family that maybe you're the only vegan, you can use these things like chili and tacos and get your family excited about vegan options, and they won't even know the difference.
Totally.
You guys have seen some of the before and afters on our page. You've seen our before and afters. We get a lot of comments about like what Ken and I used to look like, 7-8 years ago versus what we look like now. And that the transformation that you're looking for is possible. People who were exactly like you and sitting where you're sitting have broken through and gotten the physical results. Just this year, we had a client gain 17 pounds of muscle in 4 months, and another client lose over 10 pounds in just 4 weeks with Vegan Strength Academy.
Yeah, and that 17 pounds of muscle, that was like an 85-15 split. There was hardly any fat gain. That was all straight up muscle. It was fantastic.
Super fantastic.
Yeah, and then of course, like we talked about, we focus on fat loss by way of building muscle, right? So one of our clients that did lose over 10 pounds in just the first 4 weeks, we focused on building muscle, getting stronger, and that's what led to fat loss, like a really quick. That's why 10 and 4 is a fantastic, very achievable number for anybody with the right strategy. But what's amazing here is, we all get the same question, like, oh, you're vegan, but where do you get your protein from, right? Like, and then sometimes, like, I know for me, I was like, protein shakes, and you freeze, and like, we all want to be that influential vegan that knows our ish, right? Like, I almost said a cuss word, but I did not say a cuss word. That we know our ish, and it's really important. I feel that we are able to lead by example, and I think all vegans should be a source and a source of light for other people to be influenced by and lead by example. So of course, as you're a vegan, or a skinny fat vegan, or all these different things, like we all need to be inspired and empowered to be able to influence others and be confident within ourselves that we can answer where we get our protein from. We get more than enough protein. We don't rely on protein, like processed protein sources like protein shakes. It's not needed. It's great to have, and it's awesome to have, super convenient. But no, like now I don't freeze up when someone's like, but where you get your protein from? I'm like, well, you just said with the breakfast, tempeh bacon. I mean, boom, that's super easy. We do protein bagels. Like there's just so many options, and it's like super easy to get our protein. And as vegans, we need to not freeze when someone says, oh, you're vegan, but where you get protein from? Like, this is how you get 125 grams of protein without any protein powder that you just ran down earlier. So that's basically the reason why this is such a powerful training, is you don't need to rely on powders, and you need to feel confident so you can inspire people when vegans and non-vegans are like, oh, but where do you get your protein from, right?
Exactly. It's all about inspiring and empowering those around us as to what is possible, And aside from that, like all vegans, like we care about the animals, we care about the environment, and we care about our health. And it can feel like we have to have the protein if we want the physical results that we're looking for in the gym. That you have to have that protein powder. Sorry, not protein, but protein powder. If you want to build muscle and look fit and toned and be a better athlete, protein is massively important. But it's simple to do if you just follow the simple framework of breaking it down into meals, then pairing your protein sources together to creatively hit that goal. The 4 meals that I ran by you guys was over 125 grams of protein without any protein powder, and it's in the ballpark of like 17 to 1850 calories depending on your various ingredients and oils and things like that that you would add in the cooking process. So it's not even that calorie dense either. So unlike trying to get all of your protein from beans where you just feel full and bloated all of the time, by pairing your things together, you can hit your protein goals and you'll feel fantastic too. You know, I have probably felt the healthiest that I've ever felt in the last 6 months of getting ready for this competition, because of the way that we've been eating and the way that we've been planning our meals and our food and doing our preps. So there's definitely proof in the pudding, and it is possible. And then it makes the results easy when you know where your protein's coming from. It makes the rest of your nutrition just fall into place if you can just get past this one hurdle. So that's why we wanted to deliver this pretty powerful training on how we break down our protein and achieve our protein goals, and how we help our clients do the exact same thing.
So let's do a little recap rundown. Is you mentioned something earlier, which is huge, and that's why it's important to pick your protein sources carefully. And that's why looking at all the macros is really important. That's why, you know, like chickpeas and beans and things like that have protein, but they're not protein sources. So calories determine the way you weigh, determine how you weigh, how much you weigh. Macros determine how you look, and then micros determine how you feel. So if you're having all your protein from non-protein sources that are actually more carbs or fat heavy, sure, if you eat enough of it, you're going to get your protein goals, but you're also adding up all those macros of fats and carbs. So you're looking at 3,000 calories more or less. So it's very dangerous. So your magic rule of thumb was, I believe, a 2-to-1 ratio, 2-to-1 for protein to fat. So you want to look for protein sources that have a 2-to-1 ratio. That's ideal. If you have anything more than that, you have to watch out, because it might be super processed, like a 1-to-1 ratio. It might be really, really processed food. So 2-to-1 ratio is where you want to be from protein to fat, right?
Yep.
Very cool. And then to get over 100 grams of protein, you want to break it up into meals. So you listed out what you ate in a whole entire day on your meal prep. That was 3 meals and a snack. You broke it down to 25 grams per meal. And what you actually ran down, it was like over 125 grams of protein and not a single ounce of protein powder.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's really it. You know, the macros, being a problem solver, not being part of the problem. So as vegans, we definitely need to be able to quickly and confidently answer, where do you get your protein from? And boom, you listed off, like, what was it, tempeh bacon with garbanzo flour omelet. That's 22 grams of protein. A snack for protein bagel made with vital wheat gluten. Tofu cream cheese was delicious. That was like 35 grams of protein. Orange chicken with soy curls and rice and a side of edamame. That's like 30 grams of protein. And then what we just had earlier was seitan garlic parmesan wings with Banza mac and cheese. That was like almost 40 grams. So right there, over 125 grams of protein. That's without a protein shake, and you're doing it with very minimal calories, very minimally processed. So it's really, really fantastic. Anything else you want to add to that? Because that was amazing.
I think that's it. If you could implement that, if you can hack this part of your vegan nutrition, like I said, the rest of the journey is going to get a lot easier. You're going to start to see results a lot faster, and you're going to start to see the fat finally come off and the muscles start to build and show through.
Awesome. Yeah, because you could work out every single day, 7 days a week, and your body won't change. That's what I did for like over a decade. It really comes down to what you put into your body. So because of that, you know, I personally am actually setting some time aside this week in my calendar for free strategy sessions, because we want to empower vegans. We want to show vegans how to answer with confidence, where do you get your protein from? And I don't, and I see it all the time. And I was part of that problem where like I would freeze, like, oh, I don't know, protein shakes. Like, no, as vegans, we need to be responsible enough and take that responsibility to find out answers, to confidently show people how we can get our protein sources as a vegan. And that's how we break that mold of being a stereotypical skinny, fat, weak vegan. That is not what we're about. We're about being an athletic vegan. So because of that, we are going to set some time aside. So what we're going to do is I'm going to help you break down some things. I'm going to help you figure out the calories that you need for your body based on your goals. That's simple math that we could walk through together. I'll show you the equation and we'll walk through that. Also set you up with your protein target. So I'll give you exactly the amount of protein needed on a daily basis to build muscle and lose body fat. That's what we're all about, right? And then we'll outline the exact next steps you need to take to work towards your vegan fitness goals. So that's basically what the call will be based on. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes. I do love to talk about this stuff, so I do ramble a lot, like I am right now. So I mean, like, just zip it up. But basically, that's what we're going to do. And it does take a lot of energy, a lot of bandwidth, because I really do love this stuff. This is what we're passionate about, but realistically, I don't have all the time in the world. So we only have so much time on the calendar. So if this is something that you think that would be valuable for you, something that you think you would actually take this information and implement, because I don't want to be someone to just give you more information. I don't have time in my schedule to do that. But if you have the bandwidth and you are going to be like, take the information and actually implement it, by all means, I'll give you my time, my energy, my bandwidth to support you and serve you with this, because that's what I'm good at and that's what I love to do. So as vegans, we want to be the example of what's possible for our health, our physique, and for athletics. We've helped a lot of people in their vegan fitness journey. So what I want you to do is, if this is something that you think you want to do, if you want some help with your calories and your protein to understand what you need on a daily basis, DM us Vegan Nutrition to sign up for your free strategy call and reserve your session. I'm only going to do it for just a few days this week and maybe Monday. I don't know. I'm pretty busy next week, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on to see what it's all about. I'm looking forward to it because I love doing these kind of things, but I just don't do it very often. Anything to add, babe? It's good stuff.
No, that's great. We look forward to chatting with you guys and helping you figure out your vegan nutrition and taking the right steps in your vegan fitness journey.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone that hopped on and off on this live, and thank you all in advance for watching this replay. We hope you find it very valuable. We don't do lives very often because it does take a lot of bandwidth and a lot of time, but if it's something that we could do to serve fellow vegans out there that want to be strong and change their physique, that's what we're all about. You're stepping on stage in like less than 2 months. It's fantastic. 5 weeks. So it's super amazing what you're doing. So thank you everyone again for the replay. Thank you everyone for watching this live. If you are watching the replay, just type in replay and then reach out if you have any questions about this. Until next time, have at it, guys.